It's Two on the Aisle with me, Jeff Goodman, and Charles Gross. Today we review August Osage County and the magnificent In the Heights. And now, here we are, Charlie and me.
Okay.
And then there's the second daughter.
Next daughter, yes.
The second daughter who kind of can't get a date. Mm-hmm. And then there's the third daughter who is engaged to a nice gentleman who just has a little problem, which you find out about later.
Well, it happens to be her first cousin.
No.
Yeah. She wants to marry her first cousin.
No, I'm talking about the daughter, the redhead who brings home her boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The other couple you meet is the wife's sister and her husband,
right,
who have a son.
Right.
And it turns out that the other daughter who is interested in the first cousin.
Which daughter is that?
That's the redhead.
Which daughter was the redhead?
The second daughter.
That's the second daughter?
Yes.
Okay.
What Charlie is staring at intently is in the playbill there is a family tree, which is very helpful in letting you figure out the plot of keeping track of who's who.
And I'll tell you.
But what it is, it's so one daughter has a bad marriage and a child who is on pot. Right. The other daughter is basically she really likes her cousin.
Right.
And then
it turns out to be more than just a cousin.
A lot of twists in the play. I don't think we should give it away.
Yes, there are quite a few twists, and I'll tell you, and most of them lead to disaster. And I have to
everything in this family leads.
And I have to tell you that generally, when I see this kind of play, I just want to say, oh, these people are pathetic.
Right.
This is ridiculous. And the fact that you don't.
It's because it's so well written and the characters are sort of semi-likable.
Well, and if they're not, they're interesting.
And the language used, and it's always done with humor.
But regardless of what is happening, you can still care for these characters, even when you're read at just, oh my goodness, what more can go wrong with this family? You know, sometimes it really gets annoying, but because it's just so beautifully done, because you have such interesting people, they get away with it. And also, like say, Who Will Save the Plowboy, which is also disaster upon disaster, would not, and which most plays where you keep piling it on.
Yeah, but also
you ask where is that leaving, but this play pulls it off.
Not only is it brilliant writing, but there was a brilliant ensemble cast.
Yes.
This is the Chicago Steppenwolf Theater Company.
Right, directed by Anna D. Shapiro, excuse me.
Okay. But it's the original second Steppenwolf
Theater. They brought us Grapes of Wrath a few years ago.
Long time ago. They brought us a lot more than that. They brought us a brilliant revival of True West. I liked it. Okay. But they've brought a lot of stuff. They're a very, very good theater company in Chicago.
Yes.
And it came intact from Chicago. It came for a very limited run, and it's been extending and extending. And now it's extended so much that they ran through the lease on their theater because they can't extend it at the Imperial Theater.
Right.
So it's going to move next door to the music box for an open-ended engagement, which is very
And you
good.
had actually a very good observation about that, I think, before we went on the air. You were saying that, I think a play like this to be shown in a smaller, more intimate setting will be even better.
That's the only problem I had. The Imperial is just such a huge theater, and with such a big, enormous stage, that when I saw it, like when the scenes with the father or in the library were there, it was great because I was right there.
Sure.
But the scenes in the dining room, that whole second act dining room scene, I was far removed from it, and I didn't like that.
I would be very curious to see this again when it moves. To see
I want to see it in a smaller environment.
Yeah.
I must say, I just love the characters. I love the play. It's so smart. And the thing is that it has to be in 3 acts, and it has to be it has to be as long as it is, because it's very complex. It's fun to watch. I'll tell you, I think everyone goes out feeling good about themselves because they're not part of that family, because they're crazy.
That's what I'm getting at. Everybody listen. I'm a drug addict. I'm addicted to drugs, pills, especially downers. You see these little blue babies? These are my best friends, and they never let me down. You try to get them away from me, and I'll eat you alive.
Give me those goddamn
And, but there's, even though they're nuts, and they talk and they're very mean to each other. They love each other.
Yes.
And they
just don't necessarily like each other at times.
Right. It's like I love the character of the aunt. I think she is what a pip.
I do not believe you. Sitting here watching the baseball game, drinking beers. Don't you have any sense of what's going on around you? This situation is fraught.
I'm supposed to sit here like a statue? You're drinking whiskey.
I'm having a cocktail.
You're drinking straight whiskey.
Just show a little class.
I mean, and no one mentions that she, at one point they go to a funeral, and she's in like this evening gown to the funeral. I thought it was, a little glitzy.
You can get to mention who plays, give the actors their due, who you love so much.
Oh, I love all of them. And I think that it's so worth seeing. I have to get to that family tree thing because
I will concur. It's a solidly written show. What she is doing is a very hard thing to pull off, and they do it. And the fact that I really enjoy, because this is not the type of play I would normally enjoy, tragedy upon tragedy with no end in sight. I just say, oh, enough already, but not here. And that's pretty impressive, given that this is, I think, a 4 hour, not quite,
it's 3.5
hour play.
That includes the intermissions.
Right, but even so.
You get in at 7:30, you end at 11.
Right, that's a long play, and yet, as you point out, yes, it needs to be that length. Okay, now we have to move on, so why don't you tell me name some of those
the mother is played brilliantly by Dina Dunnigan. Sorry.
We'll be hearing from her at Tony and Drama Desk time.
And the aunt, Ronnie Reed. I also think, there's not one of these characters who couldn't get nominated.
Right. I like the housekeeper. She had, she just has this, what is her name? I'm sorry.
Her name, the character name?
Yeah, no, the actress.
It's played by Kimberly Guerrero.
Right. She has this wonderful ability to just sit and listen.
Oh yeah, well
and pull it off in character on stage, and harder than it looks.
And she's also omnipresent. I don't think she ever leaves the stage. She's way up in the attic.
Right, or she's in the kitchen.
And it's a brilliant. The set is so impressive. It's like
they put this whole house on stage.
It's a house.
We'll have to be able to live in something like that in the middle of Manhattan.
She is actually on the 3rd story. I mean, it is so high up on stage that they actually have a safety line, because I think that's a rule, an equity rule, that they have to have the safety line.
And a very smart one, too.
It's what?
A very smart one, too.
A smart rule? Well, it just means that you're not going to, you'll kind of hit the line and go, oh, that's not a good idea to take one more step forward. But, I mean, everyone was terrific. I mean, the whole cast, just go get your own playbill. See the show, see the wonderful cast.
Okay.